So today's lesson is about quadratic graphs and their properties. The first thing we're going to learn about is what the quadratic parent function is. The function itself looks like y equals x squared. You might also see it written as f of x equals x squared. All that is describing the most simple quadratic function that you can have. And that function looks like this here. This shape is called a parabola, which is simply a U-shaped curve. And when you're graphing this quadratic parent function, the most simple one you can have, it sits right on the y-axis, that's its center, and it's an even curve, so it's a mirror image on either side of the y-axis. The second vocab term is something called the axis of symmetry, which is the line that you can fold your parabola on so that it has two sides that match exactly. It's basically the middle of your parabola. So if you look at this parabola here, the line in red would be the axis of symmetry because it's right there in the middle. You don't need to worry about these other vocab terms just yet. We're just worried about this red line, which is called the axis of symmetry, which is the middle of the parabola. A football is a common parabola. It's actually two different parabolas. So if you look at the larger parabola that's on this horizontal axis, you can see the axis of symmetry is here. If you look at the smaller parabola that's centered on the x-axis, its axis of symmetry is this vertical line. I'm sorry, this horizontal line. So the large parabola, its axis of symmetry is here. The smaller parabola, its axis of symmetry is there. The next vocab term is something called the vertex, and that's just going to be the highest or the lowest point on your parabola. And depending on which way your parabola is facing, it will have a high point or a low point. So if we look at this parabola, which is kind of an upside down U, it's going to have a maximum because this parabola doesn't go any higher than this point. When parabolas are faced the other way, just kind of a regular U shape, it's going to have a minimum point because the parabola can't get any lower than that. That's the lowest point on the parabola. That vertex is also the point where the parabola changes direction. So if I'm following this parabola, I'm going up and up and up till I hit the vertex, and now I'm going down. So the vertex is the highest or lowest point, and it's also the point where the shape changes direction.